The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of my Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Y'all started from PBS Kids, what you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video. Oh my gosh, what the fuck is going on? I remember a few months back, people were talking about how if there were a live action Rapunzel and she was played by a South Asian woman, that would make a lot of sense. Now, why did they say it would make sense? The reason for that being is because you know the hair that is used to make wigs and bundles and, you know, wearing hair that ain't yours? Oftentimes that hair, it's human hair, and that human hair comes from South Asian people. While many people have conflicting opinions about how the Black community often buys their hair from the South Asian community, it is no secret that South Asian people are known for having super long and thick hair. That's why we said if Rapunzel were to be a woman of color, it makes sense if she was South Asian because of that aspect. Remember, white people are not the only ones that have long, super duper long hair. And with that being said, anytime white people, especially white women, see that they are not the center of attention, they throw a fit. And all of this fuck shit began when this one person who did not do a fact check saw that people were fan casting Avantika as Rapunzel if Disney were to make a live action Tangled film, and they were crying and throwing a hissy fit. One thing that white women always do when they see they are not the center of attention anymore. And because of this action from this one person, it had led into an entire hate campaign against Avantika, who, mind you, is a college student who was just out here minding her damn business, on top of the fact that she has a new film coming out soon. Literally throwing fits and harassing a woman over something that is not fucking true. We could sit here and talk about how this could be a video regarding how y'all need to stop getting your news from Twitter and TikTok and not fact checking, but it's actually much more than that, because it's today's episode of It's Not Just Hair, but also, why do y'all always find ways to bother women of color? For what reason? Let's discuss.
Come on, boys, get loud. 'Cause when the music starts bumping, the whole place will be jumping. It's my scene, you know what I'm.
Hey y'all, it's Harriana and I'm back with another video. Hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and welcome back to The Pirate Ship, also known as Harry Hook's Pirate Ship. I am the captain. You are not my first mate. I don't got no first mate. Because you want to know why? Bring your ear closer to the speaker so you can hear me clearly. Nobody's worthy of being the first mate. But hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and I like to make content based on nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. Today's video is extremely unplanned. I have been like taking a lot more time off of YouTube lately because I've been dealing with like my own personal struggles and whatnot. And because of that, I've been wanting to put out more like 40-minute to hour-long videos that take a lot more time to get done. But every now and then I do want to come back and give you guys a shorter video, and usually the shorter videos are when there is an emergency up, and there is a bit of an emergency at the moment because I see white women out of their damn cotton picking minds again over Avantika. And mind you, I'm somebody that is very much far removed from celebrity culture, but there are celebrities that I still like and I still follow and whatnot, and Avantika is one of those. She's very much unproblematic. She's just a very sweet Indian woman that just is doing her job. I don't mind her. So when people like Avantika, like I said, people who are very much unproblematic, are at the center of attention when there is hate being received, that's when I know that this is a big issue. I think what's pissing me off the most about this entire situation is that this is not even an official casting. This is simply a fan cast, a Disney fan cast specifically. And mind you, Avantika has been in a Disney Channel movie before. It's called Spin. I talked about it numerous times on this channel. Y'all should most definitely go check it out. She deserves it. Go watch it. And regarding the fake casting of Rapunzel where they put Avantika in that place, this isn't the first time she has received racist backlash. Because if you guys are not familiar with the new Mean Girls film, Avantika played Karen. And Karen is known for being the ditzy white girl type character, but they decided to race bend her and instead she is played by an Indian girl. Now, why is this such a big deal? Because when we look at South Asian representation over here in Western media, they do them so fucking dirty. My good friend Offbeat Kiki, they made an amazing video talking about this, and I am going to have it linked down below for you all to check out. Please keep in mind to listen to them as they are a South Asian person, specifically an Indian person. And I don't want it to feel as though I'm speaking over Indian people with this situation right now. That's why I am directing you all to that video. I'm just sitting here and doing my part as an ally and speaking up when I notice that there is something wrong going on. And say what you want, but I personally think it's groundbreaking to have Avantika play Karen, that being an Indian woman play a character like this, because when we look at the representation of what Indian people are given in Western media, they often are limited down to like just being like the smart character. They often are carbon copies of each other. I even made this point in a few years ago talking about the subject of Baljeet from Phineas and Ferb and Ravi from Jessie, and I basically said that they are the exact same character that Disney made because they didn't want to put in the work to make a more complex Indian character. Indian characters in our media are often not seen to be likable or seen as popular and whatnot. And in the new Mean Girls film, Karen, played by Avantika, is one of the most popular girls in school. Is she perfect? No, but that's what made her great. I really want you all to sit and do some research about the model minority, and you will understand how this harms a lot of Asian people, especially those of South Asian descent. Because of this model minority thinking, it has led to so many issues with representation in Western media of Asian people in general. And for the longest, when South Asian actors were casted into works, they were basically like a Ravi or a Baljeet type, or a very racist caricature. Regarding Western media, there is just a lot of work that needs to be done for people of color overall, but especially when it comes to those of South Asian descent. And that is why we need more South Asian people working behind the scenes at these projects and not just Mindy Kaling. I will give Mindy Kaling her flowers when they are due because she does employ a lot of South Asian actors in her works. But also many people take issue with how she portrays these characters, as they all seem to be a carbon copy of one another and there isn't that much range. Like I said, I am not South Asian. These are some observations that I have noticed from what people were saying about Mindy Kaling's work. I enjoyed Never Have I Ever, but I did take note in how the way she portrayed Davy with her relationships. And people often talked about how Mindy Kaling would pair up her Indian or South Asian leads with white guys. So we go from the things that Mindy Kaling puts out, and then we go from a lot of this model minority talk that goes into making a lot of these South Asian characters. We get Karen. Karen is the popular girl, super pretty, everyone loves her, and she is a bit ditzy. She's not smart, she's very well off. That is groundbreaking and revolutionary. Why? Because we rarely ever see South Asian girls portrayed like that in our media. It's giving them range. They deserve to have range with the types of characters they play. And I appreciate the fact that she wasn't villainized, because often when they will put like a few people of color within a story, they would make them like the worst fucking character ever. And when I say worst character ever, I mean making them an awful person. And I don't feel like this movie did that with her character. She wasn't that much different from the original Karen. Avantika did her job very well with the new Mean Girls movie. And her being casted as Karen is why many other people were saying that they want to see her in other movies, they want to see her in other shows, which is why I had started promoting people to go watch Spin if they wanted to see her in something else where she was the main character especially. She's actually going to be in a new movie that comes out next month called Tarot. And also, go stream Sexy on Spotify. Like, now at this time is to actually be giving that girl her flowers because people just don't want to see her be great at the moment. So, moving back to this Rapunzel fan casting, it isn't true. It is just a thought that numerous people have had. But people on Twitter like to do this thing where they make like fake tweets to make it look as if there's an official casting announcement or just announcement period. And people fall for the bait every single time and then start up discourse over it. Well, this tweet basically said that Avantika and that guy from Zombies, I forgot his name, it's like Milo or something, they will be cast as Rapunzel and Flynn Rider in the live action Rapunzel, and because people don't know how to fucking fact check, people fell for it. They thought it was real, but then something very peculiar had happened. And this one person was crying about it, saying that they wish Rapunzel was white like them because that is the character that they have grown up with. Mind you, white Rapunzel is always gonna be there. Y'all always gonna have Tangled. If y'all go to the damn Disney parks, they always got a white woman playing her. Y'all are good. She literally is in every fucking fandom crossover at this point. She's even in the Jujutsu Kaisen Disney crossover. Rapunzel, white Rapunzel specifically, is not going anywhere. On top of the fact that Rapunzel is not a real person, on top of the fact that her race, culture, and background specifically have little to do with her background. Therefore, it doesn't necessarily matter who Rapunzel is played by, and there actually has been an Indian retelling of the story of Rapunzel. But it's so weird because when you actually bring these facts up to people, they will go length to try and prove that you are wrong. Because this has been going on. There's been another issue with Disney regarding race happening too, and it has to do with the new Descendants film. While pretty of us have mixed feelings about this new movie, one thing that a lot of us were looking forward to is that we saw Brandy was going to reprise her role as Cinderella for this film. So the Cinderella that is in the Descendants universe is the black one, and I appreciate that because Brandy Cinderella is a film that I loved growing up. It's a comfort movie for me now. Recently rewatched it, still holds up. A lot of people in the 90s, after doing my research, I found out they were not happy about Brandy playing Cinderella because she was, black. And a lot of people have just known Cinderella to be white. If they dumbasses did not go and do research, seeing that numerous cultures and ethnic groups have done different stories for Cinderella. I remember growing up, there was an indigenous Cinderella book that I used to read all the time called The Rough Face Girl. People have an issue with Cinderella being black, but there is one thing in particular that I have noticed that non-black people, especially white people, seem to do when these things arise. All of a sudden, they care about fictional characters that they never gave the time of day for. Because if you guys are familiar with the first three Descendants films, there's a character in them named Chad Charming. He's annoying as shit. He's meant to be very unlikable. But Chad plays Cinderella's son, and Chad is white. After the first Descendants movie, I say Chad was very much irrelevant. He didn't matter. He was just kind of there as a throwaway character, the character that we just love to hate. When it comes to characters with Descendants, he is one of the ones a lot of people just don't give a flying fuck about. Now, all of a sudden, he has fans. And all of this is starting up simply because people are not happy about Brandy playing Cinderella again. It makes sense for her to play Cinderella again because she had already done it years ago. But guess what? Disney, I can't stand that company. I have my opinions about them. They know marketing and they know how to do it well. Disney is aware that a lot of people love Brandy's Cinderella from the 90s and that they will simply tune into this movie just to see her. And not just her, the King and Queen of Blazia, because we like seeing both of them together. They have such great on-screen chemistry. I love this movie so much. Yes, looking at this from a capitalist point of view, Disney included Brandy Cinderella again because they knew a lot of people were going to tune into it simply just for her and that was going to make them money. But also, I loved her. Like Cinderella, Brandy Cinderella specifically, sorry I'm kind of stumbling over my words, it got to show me that we do get to exist in fairy tale spaces and whatnot. And what's blowing me the most is that people are genuinely throwing a fit about her being Cinderella again, like those in the past did in the 90s, because they see that a white character most likely won't be included anymore. When we talk about irrelevant characters, Chad has to be one of the most irrelevant ones in the Descendants film. Nobody gave a flying fuck about him until they saw that Brandy was going to be playing Cinderella again. Because of Chad being white, we could basically, figure out that Cinderella in the Descendants universe was white. And nobody really thought anything of it. We were like, oh, okay, move on. But now everybody got something to say. Now everybody has a whole bunch of think pieces about Cinderella being black again and her daughter being Blasian. All because one character from the original that was white is looking like he's not going to be here. This isn't even a thing about Descendants excluding a white character anymore. It's the fact that they are excluding a character that wasn't really well liked to begin with. But now all of a sudden he has fans. All of a sudden he has people liking him. This was reminding me of that entire situation with Jonathan Majors. How y'all literally won't like somebody until ignorance is involved with who they are. Because I remember online, a whole bunch of people, men specifically, were clowning Jonathan Majors for challenging hypermasculinity with the way he was dressing and the way he was acting and all that. And then once weeks later, we find out about some charges that were pushed up against him getting arrested for something that I cannot say because this video was going to get demonetized. Now all of a sudden, he has a gigantic fan base of people that want him to be proven innocent. And it's reminding me of how that was going on with Jonathan Majors. He ended up getting so many fans because of some bigotry that he had done. It's also reminding me of how a lot of people were not fans of Tory Lanez until he, basically, I can't say it because demonetization, basically pointed that gun at Megan Thee Stallion. That is one thing that I truly do not understand about people. Y'all simply just won't care about somebody or something until you see some type of way of you being ignorant can be involved with it. There are just certain things that I don't understand about this world, and I probably won't understand about this world, okay? But anytime the subject of just race or misogyny come up, you will always have somebody on the back burner that is just sitting there defending it, because people were sitting there and defending that person for crying about Rapunzel not being white anymore, not realizing what the problem was at hand. People were like, oh my gosh, she's so sad, she's crying, this and that and the third. And I was like, baby, she's being racist. And it's like, anytime this debate comes up about like Rapunzel being South Asian or Cinderella being black, we always got that loud ass crowd in the back that is like, well, if these two can be women of color, Tiana can be white then. Tiana absolutely fucking not can be white. Because Tiana is based on a real person. Cinderella and Rapunzel are not based on real people. They maybe have based on real people, but guess what? These stories were made so long ago. Those are fictional characters. They are not real. They don't exist. And there are so many different iterations of their stories. They are not one size fit all. Tiana is a character that was specifically made by this damn company that I have beef with. She was based on a real person. People fail to understand why Tiana as a character and not really the Princess and the Frog as a whole is such an important factor to like just African American history, because that is somebody who was a fucking civil rights leader, and she now has a Disney princess that is based off of her. But people don't want to sit there and do their research, because anytime you try to sit here and tell them, hey, Tiana was based on a real person, they will literally find any excuse out of their ass to try and defend why they think Tiana can be white. This is not an occurrence of a white person wanting to cosplay Tiana and not doing blackface. This is just y'all trying to erase the importance of Tiana's character. This is just y'all trying to drag Tiana down again in order to defend two other characters, that being Rapunzel and Cinderella, to stay and remain white. White Cinderella is always going to be there. During that damn Disney JJK crossover, the one that was being shipped with Sukuna, that was the white girl. The white Rapunzel was seen everywhere on the internet in the damn 2010s. You could not escape her. Y'all white Rapunzel and white Cinderella representation will always be here, and it's always going to be pushed towards the front. So yeah, I can see why you're a little butthurt over a fucking fan cast, because you are so fucking ignorant to the point that you don't want to even go look and fact check. You just want to go ahead and spew hate as fast as you can. But you know what? I'm done. That's all I got to say about this. I hope you enjoyed this art commentary video. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm not in the mood to promote anything because I have things that I need to get done outside of YouTube. And yeah, goodbye.